Okay, so this is a set of notes that I'm calling to reject or to fail to reject. Um, Basically, this is in reference to hypothesis testing. And let's say we've built a hypothesis test where we have a null hypothesis where the mean is equal to 100 and an alternate hypothesis where the mean is less than 100. So this is one of these situations where they both can't be true at the same time, but it is possible for both of them to be false. When we do a hypothesis test, we only focus in on the null hypothesis. And then we look at what the data says. Okay? So let's say that the data tells me that I can draw the conclusion from the data that the population mean has to be strictly between 97 and 99. Okay? Well, 100 is clearly not on that interval. So if this is the case, so if I get this from the data and it contradicts the null hypothesis, then I say that I reject the null. So I reject the null hypothesis. Okay? So the other option, let's give another situation here where my two hypotheses are, I have the null hypothesis saying that the proportion is equal to 0.5 or half, and the alternate hypothesis is that the proportion is greater than half. And this time the data tells me that the proportion has to be between 48% and 52. Sorry about that. But clearly here, this does not indicate that the null has to be true. It's just got to be somewhere between 48 and 52%. However, when I look at that null hypothesis, it might be true because 50% is between 48 and 52. So again, this is a conclusion that I'm drawing from the data. So the data doesn't prove the null hypothesis, but it also doesn't contradict it. So what I say here is that I fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so these are the two possible outcomes. One, it's very clear that the null hypothesis cannot be true from the data, in which case I reject the null hypothesis. The other is that given the data, the null hypothesis might be true, then I fail to reject the null. All right, so these are the two possible outcomes. So we'll look at this a little bit further in class, but there you have it.